Hey peeps, my name is Naisha and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about chapters 8 through chapter 11 of the Deadliest Game that is on Choices Story You Play. You can play this either on your Android phone or on your iPhone. It's a very good app to play, so I definitely recommend you guys to play. But back to what we're about to talk about, and also there will be spoilers. So if you want to play this yourself, it is out for you to play. Though, if I'm being honest, I'm thinking there's only 3 chapters for us regular folks to play. Though with those who are VIP members, you could play up until chapter 11. Again, there will be spoilers. And so let's get right into it. Also, if you hear any noises in like, around my background, I apologize, but let's get to it. So chapter 8, basically Finn, our main character. But yeah, Finn, she gets a note on her door. It says Crystal's Revivified. And Crystal Revivify is a cream that Crystal is basically, she's putting out for everyone to, get and stuff. Like she's basically, telling people, hey, buy my Revivify. And of course, Finn tells John, Dante, and Farrah like the note that she got, and she even shows them the note that she has. And she even asks them, hey, do you know whose handwriting this is? And of course, they don't know, so they decide to see one, whose handwriting it is, and two, to see more about Crystal's um cream. Because if I'm not mistaken, the cream that she's, well, moisturizer. Yeah, it's a moisturizer and stuff like that. So yeah, they want to see more about her moisturizer. But they know that she's kind of cagey and jumpy, especially since they are still stuck because the roads are still blocked. They can't go nowhere. The cop still hasn't come yet. And of course, Nick dead body is in the freezer, so it's like, yeah, everything is just hectic. So, and she's just bugging out. So Finn suggests that like everybody just go out to the lake, um because like Nick's property is very huge, and it has like, I want to say it has like different places. Like he has different places on his property. It's a very large property, and there's a lake on it. And so of course, Finn suggests them all to go to the lake. And so everyone that's there, we have, other than um, Finn and the 3 people that I just named, we have Crystal, Angeline. I think it's Angelina or Angel. I think it's Angelina. But yeah, we have Crystal, Angelina, Pete, Steve, and I want to say Liz. Yeah, Liz and Madani. So we have, I want to say what, the 6, and then we have Finn and her 3 love interests. And so all of them are just hanging out on the lake. And of course, while they at the lake, Crystal is getting relaxed. And because she's so relaxed, they decide to see what's going on with her like moisturizer. So they do get her moisturizer. And of course, Finn looks up the ingredients and things. And one of the ingredients is, I want to say, a sedative. And of course, like, they wanted to try to talk to Crystal, but I think they end up talking to Madani first. Yeah, they do end up talking to Madani first. And Madani, because they noticed that Crystal and Madani ain't getting along. So they decided to talk to Madani to see what's going on there. And Madani tells them that Crystal is basically, she has a very huge lawsuit on her hand because of her moisturizer. Um, yeah, I'm thinking either it's a moisturizer or it's a sunscreen. It's whatever it is, I just know it's a cream. But basically her cream um has like I said, it has a sedative in it, and because it does have that, and she's telling people to put this on their body and things like that. Basically people are like, getting into car accidents because, like, again, people are putting this cream on their body and they putting a whole bunch of it, and it's acting like from what Madani said, it's acting like a knockout drug, basically knocking people out, like whether they either are working or driving. So of course, and people are getting injured, so of course people, are suing her ass. And of course Madani, she also has been called to um testify against Crystal's cream. So that's why she and Crystal are getting along and stuff like that. And because Crystal does have a lawsuit, and she is also paying people not to let, like, paying reporters and things, paying people to not let them, let the, basically the people in general know that, hey, her cream knocks out people and stuff if you put too much on. And so she's paying reporters to, like, get out of scandals and things like that. And, because she's paying these people, she's about to run out of money soon. So Madani believes that Crystal was supposed to ask Nick for money and things like that. So of course, now they want to talk to Crystal. However, at the end of chapter 8, Crystal is not at the lake. Like, she's gone. So now they have to find Crystal. And that brings us to chapter 9. Chapter 9, Finn sends the group, because the group finds out that, like, oh, Crystal is missing. So Finn sends the group back to Nick's mansion while John, Dante, and Farrah go look for Crystal. And while they're looking for Crystal, they also like, are looking for like her tracks and stuff, just trying to track her down and things like that. They do end up finding her and things like that. She's stuck in I want to say either quicksand or she's stuck in mud. Either way, she's stuck, and they do help her get out, though they end up getting dirty themselves. So John says that there is a outdoor shower that's near, like, by, so they could go and wash up. And of course, you could use this as a moment to get close to any of the love interests. But in this one, Finn gets close to John and things like that. And after that, they decide to go walking around the property, because Nick's property is very huge and stuff. And I do believe they do end up finding clues, a bit of clues, and they get to, I want to say, they get to a building that's like, that cleans, like, everything. What cleans, like, I want to say, keeps the pools and lakes on his property clean. That's what I want to say. Yeah, that's what I want to say. And in this building, they find a statue and stuff. And it comes to the realization that this statue is the statue that someone used to hit Nick hitting Nick in the head. And so this is basically the statue that killed Nick. However, it's clean, so they can't do nothing about it. But that's what happens at the end of chapter 9, which brings us to chapter 10. In chapter 10, of course, they decide to go to Madani and ask her, do she believes that this is the statue that, killed Nick and stuff. And of course, Madani, she's not this is not her expertise, but she does have a friend that does things like this. So she decides to snap some pictures of this, and she already snapped some pictures of Nick's body and stuff like that. And so and of course, before they even got to her, she and Steve was arguing. And Finn and the group, they peeped game. They was like, okay, they arguing, what they arguing about. But they ain't, they didn't come like, they didn't ask her right out like what's going on. They just asked her, is everything okay? She just said, she and Steve just having some little disagreement, that's it. But Finn noticed that like it's something more, but she's not gonna say nothing. What else happened? Also, they decide that I think either they go, I want to say they leave again, and they feel like Madani is up to something. Well, not up to something, but they feel like she's hiding something, because they realize that they know a bit about everybody except for Madani. Like, they don't really like know her and stuff like that. Like, because they know like Steve, what type of douche Steve is. They know just a little bit about Liz. They know that Angelina is cheating on Nick, but they don't know who. They know a little bit about Pete as well. They know a little bit about Crystal too. But it's like Madani, she's a mystery type of vibe. And of course, Farrah tells Finn that she could like Madani has tails, and she could help Finn figure out if Madani lies to her or not, by like, telling her how to figure out like people's tails and stuff. And so they have a lesson that, and then after that lesson, John and Finn decide to like get Madani relaxed so she could be a bit more open. And I want to say before they make her a bit more open. Yeah, I want to say before they make her a bit more open, they go to Steve first. Yeah, they go to Steve first, and Steve basically tells them that Madani is in debt and stuff. I want to say, is it before or after? You know what? I'm gonna say probably after. So I'm just gonna talk about the poker game first, just in case. But yeah, John, Finn, and Madani has a poker game, but this is only if you want to do it, because the poker game is a diamond choice. But anyway, they have a poker game, and Madani is talking to them, and because Finn had her little lesson in like, looking for people's tails, she figures out that Madani is lying to her just a bit. There are some times that Madani would say something and it'd be a full blown lie and stuff like that. And one of things that she was truthful about is because Finn asked her, was there ever a time where she broke her oath, because she's a doctor, and she says yes, but she doesn't tell them like what it is and stuff. And so of course they they leave it at that, because as soon as the poker game is done, Madani is tired and things like that. And I think that's when they go to Steve. But basically, Steve lets them know that Madani has a gambling problem. Yeah, she's a gambling addict, which I find to be quite interesting, because I wouldn't think that she has a gambling addict, like a gambling problem, but she does. So they tell her that Steve tells them that like she owes some people, some bad people, a lot of money for her gambling problem. And of course, Nick had covered for her one time, but Nick made it known like, hey, he's not gonna do this again, so she needs to, get help for her gambling addiction. And now that they know that like she has a gambling problem, they decide like to go go try to talk to her. Now I forgot like why they decide to separate and stuff, but they decide to like go to different places and things like that. And Finn decides to just go to Madani's room to see if she's in there. I'm thinking either they all separate to look for Madani or whatnot. But basically, Finn goes to Madani's room. She sees that the door is open, and she has this gut feeling like, oh, something's gone wrong. And she opens the door and finds Madani is dead. However, she sees that there is a sword by her body, and basically, Finn deduces like, okay, someone basically killed Madani and made it look like a scene in Finn's upcoming book that she's writing. And that's how chapter 10 ends. And then chapter 11 begins with Finn, like, basically still at the scene, looking at Madani's dead body, the sword. It seems like Madani has been stabbed, of course, but she doesn't think it's with the sword and stuff. I know John, Farrah, and Dante come in, and Finn tells them basically like she found Madani like that. She also tells them that like the scene is from her the book that she's writing now and stuff. And of course, all of them deduce that someone's trying to set Finn up. And not only that, they decide to just look around. They decide to look around Madani's room. And then they realize that Madani was the one who sent Finn the note, because they see her handwriting, and her handwriting looks exactly the same as the person who wrote the Crystal Revivify note. And they also realize that Madani has been keeping a notebook and stuff about like information on people. And one of the things they note was that like, for example, Liz, she hates the sight of blood. Like, she would faint, she would pass out. They said something about Angelina, some kind of something that she's dealing with. I don't know why I didn't look it up, but I don't know what it's about, but basically, like, she is like she has something going on with her. Um, find out that John is lactose intolerant. Um, basically, she jots down little notes about people and things like that, and um, I think the only one that doesn't really have a little note is Finn, but that's mainly because she don't really know Finn. Finn's like the newbie in the group, and she only knows about Finn through Nick, because Nick always talk about Finn. And so, but like, there's another note that's in her notebook that basically says that she was being blackmailed by someone to, yeah, she was being blackmailed by someone to let people know that Nick's, basically to hide Nick's cause of death and to hide when Nick actually died. So apparently Nick didn't die when he fell, like the way they said it, Nick died like an hour early than the time that Madani had gave them. And so now Finn's like got to redo things again, got to figure out like who, like, now it seems like everybody's alibi doesn't hold up now because of the time that, like, that Madani said Nick died isn't the true time. Nick died an hour early than the time that Madani says. So, and it seems like the only ones that have like an alibi is Crystal and Dante. Everyone else like doesn't have an alibi anymore. And of course, Crystal ends up seeing Madani's body and telling everybody. And how that happened is because Finn, Nick, I'm talking about Nick, Finn, Dante, John, and Farrah, they go into the bathroom, in Madani's bathroom, to look at the notebook and the dossier that Madani created of people and things like that without being bothered. So I guess Nick was not Nick, but Crystal was going to Madani's room. I don't know why Crystal was going to Madani's room in the first place and stuff like that, but or did they leave the door open? I forgot how it goes, but they see Crystal at, like, you know, like looking at Madani's body. Crystal freaks out, goes and shouting, Madani's dead, Madani's dead. And of course, you know, Finn and John, Farrah, and Dante has to go to the group and tell them what's happening, and also tell them, well, Finn ends up telling them that Madani was killed the way that's set up in her book, and she says that someone is trying to set her up. Not only that, but she also tells them that Madani was being blackmailed because the person knows about their gambling debt and was gonna let everyone, well, gambling problem, and was gonna let everyone know about it. And so Nick actually died an hour early than what Madani has said, and so everybody still looks guilty now. And of course, you know, there are people that are pushing back and saying, hey, like, Finn could be the killer or John could be the killer. And of course, you know, Finn's trying to tell people, like, we don't know who could be the killer. We just only assuming. But they also end up finding like an eyelash, and could either be Crystal or Angelina's. And it was Angelina's, and Angelina said she went to Crystal for something and things like that. And she said that not Crystal, but Madani was like fully alive when she left her, so it's not her. And so of course, Finn Finn decides to call it a night because everyone's freaked out because there's another person dead. Like first it was Nick, and then of course like we know that like Nick had a will. He has a fortune and he was gonna give his fortune away to charity. So like we already know that that's like motive for someone to kill Nick because he had willed it to his friends, but he decided to give his fortune to charity. And I guess someone found out and didn't like that. So, we already have Nick dead. Now we have Madani dead. And not only that, but her phone is also missing. They was trying to find her phone because, again, if you watch Locum 23 playlist or if you listening to me now, I did say earlier that Madani has been texting a friend who is in the forensic business and stuff like that, and she's been like texting them and she's trying to get information back to see like what happened and things like that. So someone knows that Madani is also on their ass, so they end up killing her and stuff. So now, like, again, so yeah, that's the reason why Finn was telling everybody to go into their room and lock the door, and they would come back the next morning to figure out what to do. And so, of course, Finn couldn't sleep, so she decides to go to John's room and spend time with him there. They end up like, just holding each other, just having a really cute romantic little moment. Then the next day, Finn comes to the conclusion that she has to lock someone up in a room, so away from other people until the cops come and stuff like that. Just lock someone up in the room. And she picks Steve. And of course, Steve's like shocked and stuff. You know how Steve is. If you watch Locum 23 play this, or if you playing this yourself, Steve could be a bit much. And of course, he's being... Well, I feel like anybody would be like this, especially if they being accused of murdering not one, but two people. So, yeah, he has a right to act that way and be like, why you gotta lock me up? And he was like, well, if you're gonna lock me up, at least lock me up. I forgot, like, I want to say in the pool, like in the pool room and stuff. Because, like, sure, he ain't got nothing else to do. He gonna be bored. And so they decide to lock him there. I want to say Crystal and Pete decide to like escort Steve to the pool room, which I thought was kind of weird, but chapter 11 ends with Finn wondering if she did the right thing. And overall, chapter 8 through 11, it was very interesting. I enjoyed it. I also forgot to mention one tidbit, especially in chapter 9. Chapter 9, I want to say in chapter 8 and 9, but mostly chapter 9, they think that Crystal's cream could be used to knock out Nick, and Crystal basically informed them that Nick was very, very much allergic to a cream, and so that couldn't be a thing to knock him out. Which I don't understand why they would have to knock him out if all they had to do was hit him in the head that like killed him and stuff. Like, I didn't understand that, but the point is, like, from chapter 8 through 11, I thought it was good. I thought it was interesting. I also feel like, now, my whole thoughts about it is, I'm thinking, like, I'm thinking it either has to be, in my opinion, either Steve or, yeah, I think it either has to be Steve or Pete, in my opinion, because someone got to be strong enough to basically move Nick, and they also don't know where oh, also I forgot to mention that in chapter 11 they also said um they got to find out where Nick was going to have the game set up, because remember, Nick brought them all out here for a murder mystery party, and then at the end he was gonna tell them about his plan of giving all his wealth to charity. But like, so there was a place that he was gonna have this murder mystery party, and so in chapter 11 they also decided to figure out like where like that murder mystery party is gonna be at as well. Okay, now back to what I was saying about um I'm thinking it could be. Now I'm not sure, but I'm thinking it could be Steve or Pete, only because like someone has to be strong enough. I'm gonna be honest. They do seem like capable, smart men, especially Pete. Like, he just seems real smart, and he already wanted to take the company that Nick had, came up with. He wanted to take it to a whole new thing, as like with like, I want to say, what, with security and stuff like that, with cameras and things like that. And not only that, but I was also thinking that there could be like two killers type of situation. It could be. I'm not sure it is. It could be, and things like that. Um, like it could be a male and female. We don't know. Like, it could be two killers. Who knows? Um, I feel like, if anything, I feel like it's probably one. And I feel like it's probably someone that is probably like makes it seem like they're like incapable of doing anything by themselves. But I don't know. I feel like it could either be Pete or Steve. If it's like a two-person killer, I feel like Angelina Crystal um could be like an accomplice. Same thing with Liz. I feel like Liz could be an accomplice. She probably didn't do it, but she probably, is in with the person and things like that. So I don't know. Overall, I would say I'm enjoying myself. Um Watching everything go down, and I'm curious to know what other people think, like especially those who are playing this themselves. Like, who do you think could be the person who killed Nick and Madani? Like, I'm curious to know, because I'm not gonna lie, like it looks like it could be Steve, but I don't know, that could be, I don't know. I'm side eyeing that because he already knew about Madani's gambling problem. So it's like it looks like he's even being set up in my mind and stuff like that. So like I said, I don't know who it could be. I would be very curious to know who it could be. Um Also, I'm not trying to be funny, but it would be funny if there was like an outside person that no one knows about that also like is a part of this. Who knows? I'm just curious to know what's going to happen next. And also, like, I'm gonna be honest, it just seems like they're not getting anywhere, in my opinion. It's like, yeah, in my opinion, it feels like it's not getting nowhere. Like, I know that there are people who are playing this, especially Locum 23, who already know exactly who he is. But from my point of view, I'm gonna be honest. It looks like I'm gonna be honest. I do not know who is doing what, because I feel like they're giving us a whole lot of something, but also a whole lot of nothing at the same time. You feel me? Like everything that we do know and stuff, again, it could be something, but also could be nothing. Like the fact that Liz faints when it comes to blood and stuff, that could be, hey, she could be like, she could honest to God, like not like blood. However, it could also be an act. Like there's really a whole lot of nothing in my opinion. Like I'm not getting a clear picture of who did it. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, everybody looks look like they're not capable of it. Like I'm just gonna be honest. Like Steve just seemed like a thief. Crystal is too eccentric to even think about killing anyone. She, like, if I'm being honest, she looked like a type of person that would just ask for help and stuff like that. I'll pay you to help her either way. Um, Madani, there was nothing. Again, I don't think she, like, I knew like she wasn't guilty of anything, but I also knew that she was hiding something. And we found out what that something was. Again, she was being blackmailed and stuff like that. Um Also I was thinking maybe it could be one of the love interests and stuff like that. But I was like, it couldn't be John. John just doesn't seem like that type of person. Farrah, again, she doesn't seem like that type of person. She's only like an art thief, you know. She's basically like the classic Robin Hood type of person. Like she's stealing from the rich to basically get to, like, yeah, stealing from the rich to give whatever she stole back to the right person. And Dante just wants to do a movie. Yeah, he just wants to do a movie that has nothing to do with his race or, yeah, things like that. He just wants to play a role that isn't, what's the word I'm looking for? That he's not like stereotype, because he's always playing a Latino gangster, and he doesn't want to continue to play those roles and stuff like that. So again, I thought it could be one love interest, but I was like, no. It would have been a cool idea, but yeah, their personality and how, and then of course Farrah already knowing that Nick was going to give up um his fortune to charity, and she thought that was pretty good again. And like, even though he was helping her out, she was already going, I want to say they already had plans on what she was like, what was going to happen after he, gave away his wealth. But yeah, so I was like, to be honest, to me, I could guess, but I don't really know who killed Nick Armadani. I'm interested to know if there's anyone else that knows. Um, yeah, I'm curious to know if there's anyone who, like, maybe y'all know who is the actual killer. I wouldn't mind someone telling me, like, cause like, I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea and stuff. Also, if you are going to tell me who's the killer and stuff, or like say something that is spoiler, just make sure you put in your comment, like, a spoiler alert, so people who are playing this don't get spoiled too easily and stuff. But yeah, I'm curious to know, like, again, who you guys think is the killer, killers, who knows. Also, I also want to know, who do you guys like? I'm talking about the love interest. Like, do you like John? Do you like Farah? Do you like Dante? I'm not gonna lie, I like John. Like his personality, from what like I see and what I get, and I'm also playing this as well. I'm going for John. I just like his personality. Like from chapters 1 through 11, from what I've seen, I like the person he is and stuff. Dante, I'm gonna be honest, Farah, she's like a best friend type of vibe like got going on. But like Dante, he's cute and stuff. But that's all. But I love me some John. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And that will be all I have to talk about. If I left something out, please let me know down in the comments below. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It would mean a lot and help me a lot. And until next time, see ya!